The latest inflation report for Canada is out, and it tells us quite a bit this time around. Canada's headline inflation jumped from 2.4% in March up to 2.8% in April, and that is now the highest reading that we've had in 2 years. May 2024 was the last time inflation was this high. Now, when you take a first glance at that, it does look a bit concerning. You got inflation moving back up towards that 3% number, tends to catch our attention. There is a twist to this report, though. Economists were actually expecting inflation to come in even hotter. They were expecting it to be around 3.1%. So while the prices are climbing faster again, the report wasn't quite as bad as we had feared. Now, the biggest reason behind this jump is simple. It's energy prices. Here's what stood out to me in the report from Stats Canada. Headline inflation rose to 2.8%. Again, that's up from 2.4%. Transportation inflation spiked. It came in at 7.6% compared with 3.7% in March. Now, check this out. Energy prices, they came in at 19.2% year over year versus just 3.9% in March. But maybe the most important part of this report wasn't that headline number at all that we just looked at. It's actually core inflation. And this is what the Bank of Canada prefers. They prefer core measures, trimmed median inflation rates. They actually fell to 2% and 2.1% respectively. Those are now the lowest levels in 5 years. And again, both came in below expectations. The big question becomes, though, when you look at that headline inflation, is this inflation coming back, or is it just an energy shock that temporarily is pushing the numbers higher? Let's have a look at some of the details. The main driver here, clearly energy. The report points directly to disruptions in the Middle East energy supply that are caused by the ongoing regional conflict there. Higher oil and power costs, they fed directly into transportation prices. We saw that, and that ripple effect was strong enough to push the overall inflation noticeably higher, right? And when energy prices are up nearly 20%, of course, consumers were going to feel that, especially at the gas pump. That's something that we see pretty much every day. However, when you look outside of these energy-sensitive categories, inflation pressures, they actually looked fairly contained. You look at food inflation, slowed from 4 to 3.5. That's encouraging. Shelter inflation, that also remains surprisingly moderate, 1.8%, especially considering that a housing affordability is still a major issue across Canada. We've covered that often on the channel here. And it's interesting how this ties into the Bank of Canada. This is, I think, where the rubber hits the road. The bank has repeatedly said it's watching for signs that higher energy prices are spreading into broader inflation expectations. Looking at this data, though, based on this data alone, that spillover effect, it doesn't appear to be happening, at least not yet. The headline number does jump out due to energy prices, yet the core inflation, which strips out those energy numbers, is actually down. In other words, Canadians are paying more at the pump, transportation, but businesses, consumers don't seem to believe at this point that runaway inflation is returning across the wider economy, at least not yet. Now let's look at the potential impact on both policy and on your stock portfolio. This report will likely keep the Bank of Canada in a very cautious mood. One hand, you got inflation moving up to 2.8%. Clearly, that's not ideal. But on the other hand, you got that core inflation actually cooling to that 5-year low. You can see that on this chart. That gives policymakers some more breathing room. And that distinction matters because central banks typically view energy stocks differently from more broad-based inflation. If inflation is rising because of one external factor, like oil in this case here, then they may be less inclined to respond with higher interest rates. Now, what happens next? Well, markets are going to likely focus on that core inflation number more than the headline number. And since core measures came softer than expected, this report might actually reduce the pressure for additional rate hikes. It could even, I say very cautiously, keep the door open for rate cuts later this year if the underlying inflation continues to cool, and only if. That path, though, could shift very, very quickly if energy prices stay elevated for the next several months. Because, of course, once you get the higher fuel costs, once they are fully reflected in things like shipping, manufacturing, food distribution, and wages, that's when a temporary spike can become something much more persistent. This is one of those reports where the headline number tells one story and the details tell another. We see that a lot when we look at economic reports. At first glance here, inflation jumping to those 2-year highs, that can sound a little bit alarming, but then you strip out that spike specifically related to energy, the broader picture actually looks relatively stable. That said, right, this energy-driven inflation, it does have a habit of sticking around longer than we would like to see. We've definitely seen that before. Now, there's also the issue of consumer psychology. Even if we see that core inflation cooling, people notice the gas pump prices every time you drive past a gas station. They see that way more than the trimmed mean CPI metrics. So if households start to expect that prices are going to keep rising, that alone can influence spending and wage demands far more than the actual statistical metrics themselves. So again, this report does look pretty reassuring beneath the surface, but it's too early to declare victory over inflation just yet. If we get more revisions, another energy shock, if that sticks around longer than planned, that could still change the picture very, very quickly. What should we be watching for here? Well, the next few months, what I'm going to be looking at to see whether energy prices stabilize. If so, Canada could see headline inflation drift lower, right? If you add that back in, it could bring the headline down. Core inflation, if that continues to cool toward the Bank of Canada's target range, that's a good thing. If geopolitical tensions worsen, very big probability or possibility of that. And if oil prices keep climbing, then headline inflation will remain elevated through the summer. That won't be a good thing from the Bank of Canada's perspective. Now, I think the key thing here to watch will be whether inflation spreads beyond the transportation and energy into broader categories beyond what we saw this month. So in other words, things like services, housing, wages. If that starts to happen, then the Bank of Canada may face a much tougher decision ahead. But for now, I think that the report does suggest that Canada's inflation problem is still more about external shocks rather than overheating demand here in Canada. And that is a very, very important distinction. So I want to ask, what do you think? Do you think this is just a temporary energy-driven spike? Or could inflation start heating up again later this year? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.